Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well, I hope you all are doing swell, I hope that you don't smell. Why do I always feel the need to rhyme? Welcome back! Today we're doing the Book Contradictions book tag. I feel like it's been a million years since I've done a book tag. That's a lie. I did one like back in June, but it's been a long time, okay? June was a minute ago. It's been like a couple months. Today we're doing the Book Contradictions book tag created by Only If for a Page. I will leave a link to their channel down below in the description along with the original video. Go and check them out, show them some support. I love the idea of this tag. It's full of questions relating to bookish contradictions. I feel like sometimes I'm the king of contradictions. If there's one thing about me, it's that I don't make sense. I'll love a book and then read a book that's super similar to it and just like hate it with every bit of my being. And to that I say, never let them know your next move. Listen, for the most part, I'm consistent, but I do have my moments where I play my wild card. If you're not contradicting yourself every now and then, boring, you're doing it wrong, spice up your life. I'm excited to expose myself today and expose some of my bookish contradictions. Let's get to it. Question 1. I love this genre, but I don't love this book. I feel like I'm still very much so in my contemporary fiction era. Like, I just love a good contempt. It's the love of my life at the moment. When will it pass? Who's to say? But it'll be a messy breakup, let me tell you, because I am entangled in that genre right now. But let me tell you, just because I love that genre does not mean that I think that it's a perfect genre and that I think that all books within that genre are perfect. How many times am I gonna say genre? Genre. Too many times. It doesn't mean that there ain't no trash books up in it. Some of these books stank. Some of these books need the electric chair stat. Get them out of my sight. I could probably name 15 books off the top of my head right here, right now. But I'll save you the time, don't worry. You can spend that time reading books that you're enjoying. I tend to get rid of books that I don't enjoy pretty quickly, unless they've got a beautiful cover, because it's like removing a stunning piece of art from an art gallery. Why would you do that? It's so beautiful! Don't touch! Or I'll slice your arm off. Watcha! When will I ever stop taking things too far? I was born taking things too far. Like, right out the womb, I was taking things too far. I am the drama. Anyway, cool, calm, collected. The book that I have chosen for this is Noggin by John Corey Whaley. I feel like this is a book that could have been a full-on banger, but it was a flop for me. I mean, the story is literally about a kid who dies and they freeze his head and bring him back to life by attaching his head to a body. Does that not sound like a banger? Ba-bang, ba-bang! I'm low-key realizing that while this is technically a contemporary, it kind of does have like a sci-fi element to it, but we're gonna go with it. It's my channel, my rules. It's a contemporary book. There's just like a small fantastical element. The potential was there. The ground was set for greatness, but it full on got stomped on. That greatness. With this one, I just could not stand where everything led to in the end, and the main character was a mess, which, you know, rightfully so. He didn't necessarily ask to be brought back. It's kind of like messing with the dead, like let him rest in peace. I understood why the main character acted in the way that he did, because he just wants his old life back. Boy is brought back from the dead and is so confused when he wakes up. But just his character was so frustrating to read about because he couldn't let go of the past, and everybody else in his life has just like moved on without him. So okay, but it does make sense that he's that way, but it still was super frustrating to read about. I know it must be super frustrating for authors to have their books be compared, but I have such a strong attachment to Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. This book is literally like a masterpiece in my mind. Like, I just hold it so highly in my head. I'm like, this book, amazing, brilliant, masterpiece. And one of the reasons why I love this book so much is because there's so much feeling and emotion tied to every move within it. And this one felt so detached from any sort of emotion or feeling. Ooh, detached is not a good word to use when talking about a literal book about a kid who gets his head detached. But I said what I said, I own it. It just wasn't for me, and that's okay. Number 2, I rarely read this genre, but I love this book. I would say sci-fi still has not fully pieced itself into my reading life puzzle. As much as I attempt to fit the pieces in, they just get shoved to the side and then eventually get lost. But I read The Space Between Worlds last year. We follow a girl living in a world where you can travel between parallel worlds. The only catch is you can't travel to parallel worlds where your parallel version of yourself is still alive. But our main character is dead in pretty much every parallel world but a few, so she's got no issue whipping back and forth between different worlds. But when one of the versions of herself dies in a mysterious way, she's gonna tackle the mystery behind it. While there were aspects in here that were a little over my head, I still thoroughly enjoyed this one. Like, it was so much fun. It's a book where it has so many things going for it, but it never felt like chaotic or too much. It felt just right. Just the right amount of chaos, just the right amount of world building, and just the right amount of character work. I was pleasantly pleasantly surprised by the greatness of this book. It had a nice balance of book ingredients and every single one hit in the way it needed to hit. It was a very pleasant hit. Would take another hit from this book. 10 out of 10 recommend getting hit by it. Number 3, I love this trope, but I didn't like this book. Road trip trope. I love a good road trip trope. I love taking road trips in real life, and I love reading and consuming media involving road trips. I think it just sets up for a great story. And a book that comes to mind for this one is a book that I got rid of, and that's Let's Get Lost. This story follows this girl named Layla, who basically is road tripping, and on her road trip, she stumbles across these different people going through different things, and she is there to help them solve the things that they are going through. Now, this one felt like a Disney Channel original movie, and honestly, some of those movies slap. Like, they made up my childhood, so of course I love them. Like, there's such a nostalgic factor attached to each and every one of those films. But I also am able to pull myself out of my childhood and recognize the fact that those movies were so cheesy, and that's where this one ended up landing, is in Cheeseville. Here's the deal. I don't think it's like too far-fetched to meet somebody, just like a random stranger, and have them like change your life. Like, that happens. But the fact that Miss Girly met 5 people on her road trip, that she was able to like go into their lives and just change them dramatically, what are the odds? The odds are pretty low. That's what the odds are. She must be some kind of magical being to first off be able to run into 5 people who are going through different things, different struggles, and then secondly be equipped to help those people with their struggles. You see where I'm going here? The Sure Jan meme is just popping up in my head right now. Like, sure, okay, whatever you say. Number 4, I hate this trope, but I loved this book. These trope ones are catching me off guard. I've been sitting here thinking for like 10 minutes of one that's like not super cliche, but I'm gonna be a cliche boy today, which, when am I not cliche? I am known for being the basicest boy. The basicest. I am known for being a basic boy, and I'm gonna reclaim that title today. Basic boy. Anyway, y'all know I'm not much of a love triangle boy. I'm a you've got your eyes on one lover and one lover only kind of guy. AKA a ride or die kind of guy. But the one that slides through this, the book that slides on through, and yes, I know I have the most cliche answer ever. Sue me! But also, please don't sue me, I have no money. This is all my money, right here. This is my hard-earned money. Anyway, it's the love triangle from the Infernal Devices trilogy. It just works. Okay, it's just a satisfying love triangle. Is it fan service? Maybe. Does it compromise to make all the readers happy? That might be so. Do I care? No, I do not. You can take your critiques and flush them down the toilet. I don't want to listen to them. Number 5, I love this author, but I didn't like this book. Ooh, I got one. Holly Black. I love you, Holly Black. I love you, Holly Ollie Ollie. I love The Cruel Prince. You did that. The Darkest Part of the Forest. The Spiderwick Chronicles. Enchanting, magical amazingness. The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. What were you thinking? Book of Night. What's going on here? Let me start with The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. It was a swerve for me. I didn't even finish this one, I don't think. I think I DNF'd it midway through. I could have finished it. I don't remember much. I've kind of just like wipe this one from my memory because I just didn't enjoy it. This one just felt so dry for me, both in terms of the writing style and just like the character work. I did not vibe with the characters at all, which might be why it didn't hit in the way that it did, because I feel like all of these books, the ones that I did like, the reason I like them so much is mostly because of the characters. I think the atmosphere does play into it as well. Like, I really like the atmosphere in these books, but the characters in this one were just such a miss. And the writing style, like, I normally vibe really well with Holly Black's writing style. Couldn't do it here. No. Let's go back to this. I'll take this writing style over what goes on in here. And with Book of Night, honestly, it was just a mess. I personally really liked the idea of the world and having it be inspired by shadows. I liked that aspect, but it just did not bring anything else to the table for me outside of that. I feel like I just wrote an entry in the burn book, but I love you, Holly. I still love you, Holly. I'll still read things that you put out. I promise. I love you. Number 6, I previously disliked a book by this author, but I loved this book of theirs. This one's kind of easy. Patrick Ness. I loved A Monster Calls. This book means so much to me. Like, it lives in my heart. I carry it around with me. I just love this story to its core. But there's actually been a few books by Patrick Ness that I've kind of like, iffy about. First up, Chaos Walking. I never finished this book. It was chaos. I just could not get into the writing style. I know it's meant to be different, and I know that the style actually works for the story itself, like for the circumstance of the story, but I just could not do it. I could not commit. It was not my style, not my vibe, not my cup of tea. So I spit that tea right out. And then The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Oh no! I'm actually so sad about this book because I was so excited about it, and then I read it, and then No, it just did not work for me on so many levels. It was one of those things where it was like the concept is better than the execution, which is unfortunate. But that's okay because I still have A Monster Calls, which was a home run, kick the ball in the goal, hole-in-one, nothing but net kind of read. I loved it. I will never not love it. It's a part of me at this point. I do wonder if I should give the Chaos Walking trilogy another shot, like maybe give it another try, just see if I can vibe with the writing style now that I'm like older. Because when I first tried to read it, I was pretty young, but now I'm much older and wiser and have different perspectives on writing and life. I know that it is a very well-loved book and I must be missing out on some greatness, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Should I give it another shot? Will I actually commit to giving it another shot? That's the real question. Number 7, I loved this cover, but I hated the cloak. This one makes me sad. It was a recent read. It was one of my most anticipated releases, and I need a moment of silence for this book because it devastates me that it didn't work out. And the cover is so beautiful. Anyway, it's a magic steeped in poison. This cover, I mean, are you kidding? It is the moment. It is main character energy in book cover form, you know? That's the vibes. But I just have several reasons as to why this book didn't work for me. 1, surface level characters. You really did not get to know the characters. You got to know the main character pretty well, but like every side character just felt so one-dimensional. It just felt like they were not bringing anything to the story. It was so unfortunate. 2, way too much going on. Like, talk about a convoluted story with just too many layers. I'm down for books that have a lot going for them. I think that they can be really interesting and really well done. This one was just like chaos. This one, it was just hard to hold on to all the different plot strings that were like being woven through each other. 3, convenience. There were so many things that just conveniently happened for our main character in order to progress the plot. And it was just so frustrating because things that could have been obstacles that she had to work through were just moved out of the way in order for her to keep going with the story. That's my tea. I probably could say more, but you get the gist. No, but I will say some positive things because it wasn't like a full-on hatred type situation for me. Like, there were aspects of it that I did enjoy. I really liked the writing style and I will definitely be checking out more by this author in the future because I really liked it and I really could see the potential. And 2, I really loved the idea behind the world building. The magic is inspired by tea and I just loved that aspect. I loved the moments we got to see the magic system being utilized. Those were some of my favorite parts within the story. I just wanted more from that, I guess. For the most part though, I was let down. Finally, number 8, I hated the cover, but I loved this book. I still think about this book cover often and how dirty it does to the book, and that is Baking Normal. This is one of my favorite books. Let me just say, to be fair, I don't know what kind of book cover could actually encompass the greatness of this story or the seriousness of this story or the complexities of the story. I get that. I know it needs a different cover, but I can't even visualize what a different cover for this book would look like. All I know is that this book cover makes me sad every time. Like, no hate to this cover model. She's lovely. But this book cover does not do this book justice. They really said this book is about a sad girl who goes through a sad situation, so we're gonna put a sad looking girl on the cover. Bam! It's not the worst cover on the planet, but it's not giving me anything. It's so unfortunate. That's it for the Book Contradictions book tag. This tag was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed participating in it. Now I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. I want to know what your least favorite genre is and a book that you loved within that genre, because just because you don't like a genre doesn't mean there's not a book in that genre that you don't enjoy. Like, there's gotta be a book in there that you enjoy. Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright and that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye-o!